Hey, hey.
Hey, nice to see you. Welcome to my place and excited to show you around. So here we got our small, nice little living room. We just moved in around like 1-2 months ago. It took us about a month to get the house and the apartment ready. Been into board games, so got a bunch of board games for the homies. And then I also picked up a DJ deck. So
wow.
haven't practiced enough yet to play a set, but hopefully one day.
What does a founder eat to get ready for, their day?
Yeah, let me show you. I actually don't eat breakfast too much. I'm usually like doing like grass-fed chicken or ground beef. So yeah, it's pretty simple food. I'm not like a great cook yet, but just starting to slowly get into it. I made some homemade sushi the other day.
Oh, wow.
And just some other foods, but yeah, nothing super complicated. I do use my air fryer religiously though, so I got one of these. I cook up a bunch of stuff, whether it's like frozen stuff, even meats in general, so that's been nice. Obviously the living room as I've shown you, and then we have two bedrooms here. One's here, and then one is here. And this is still kind of a work in progress. Got a bunch of my suitcases still here.
So what do you do to get ready before you go to the office?
I don't do too much actually. I wake up around like 8:30 or 9. Maybe I'll take you with me on the couch here, but like I don't actually have like a super sexy morning routine. I just like wake up, usually shower in the mornings. I feel pretty refreshed there. Just walk to the office from here. So that's pretty much my routine. I'll usually get a cup of coffee as well.
What do you do on your downtime as a founder?
I play basketball, so I used to play basketball a ton, as I'm sure you've learned in the previous vlogs, but I play basketball on Wednesdays. I also play poker a lot, so a lot of these feel like a basic tech bro responses.
Is there rock climbing though?
No, sadly no rock climbing or bouldering.
How do you organize your team as a CEO?
Yeah, I think we're still super early stage. We're just a small team of 6 right now. It's this idea of building a great product, so a lot of engineering and design work, and then also on the flip side, kind of speaking to users. And I think Y Combinator, which is an amazing accelerator program, has that advice for basically the earliest stage companies, and that's kind of how we've organized our teams. So myself and Alex, my co-founder as well, spends more of our time on speaking to users, understanding what they want, kind of going back and forth and maintaining a direct touch point at such an early stage. And then on the other side, there's Jason, Anthony, and Vic, who spend a lot of their time taking in that feedback, taking in the problems that these users are facing, and then kind of thinking about these solutions. But to be frank with you, at such a small size, we're really cross-functional. So when it comes down to designs, I still have a bit of input and try to offer my opinion when I can, and that's kind of the way we're going to be operating as a team in general, because I think at the end of the day, those are the really two things that matter.
Walk me through your life before Tori.
Tori's been a while. It's been 3 years, but before that, I was a college kid, and I tried a bunch of ideas. I wouldn't necessarily consider them companies, but I tried building a lot of things. One idea that I tried building was this idea of helping high schoolers get local paid internships with local businesses to manage their social media. Tried a bunch of different ideas, and then I fell down this idea of the crypto rabbit hole before Tori, and was just so interested in all these things that I think crypto could eventually enable. That's kind of a bit of my background. I tried starting a bunch of things. I was just a college kid. I was studying business. I had this little hack where I did this program called the IB program, which is the International Baccalaureate program in high school, and I was able to transfer a lot of my credits in college, and I lived at home in college, so I had so much time on my hands, and really had the freedom to be creative and to just put in work outside of college as well, or outside of just the typical schoolwork. But I loved my experience, and I feel like I dropped out in my very last year, so it doesn't count as well, but that's kind of an overview or a TLDR of some of my life before Tori.
Do you have any advice to founders, on how to raise VC funds?
I've learned a bit throughout that journey. We've raised 2 rounds of funding at our company as well. So when it comes down to advice, I think there's actually a few things worth really noting. Number one is really making sure that the product that you're building is something that you actually believe in. And I know that sounds really obvious, but I think in many cases, people who might not be really deep in terms of startups or founding their own startups think raising money is a sexy thing. But there's a lot of noise out there, right? So really what matters most is understanding that your core atomic unit of your business, which is your product or whatever you're selling, is something that's working, right? So there almost has to be that core belief right away. Once you have that, that's when you could kind of start going out. The next thing is I would really focus on getting a group of people that are willing to take a bet on you. So what does that mean? Well, before I even started Tori, when I was just the college kid, I actually flew down to San Francisco and reached out to as many people that I could, whether they were founders or venture capitalists, Minneapolis. Kind of got in touch with them, and they took a bet on me. So the advice that I'd have there is, instead of going out to all these really big funds right away when you're raising your first round as a company, is to go to the people that have already built stuff, and they're going to be able to help you, guide you throughout that journey as well. So those are a few pieces of advice that I would have for when it comes down to raising money. But the process, and I think a lot of it sounds sexy, but what ultimately matters is just building something that would make you feel a lot better in general as well.
Anything else you want to say to the viewers?
Yeah, I think if you are just in the aspirational phase of starting a company, I think depending on where you're at in terms of your life stage, I guess this is more advice to the young entrepreneurs, is to kind of take a bet on yourself. I think it's scary, but I think it's one of the best times to do it. And if you're able to put yourself in a position where you do take that bet on yourself, you're almost kind of forced to grow. So that's kind of the advice that I would have. And I really don't regret starting a company and, kind of really taking that bet on myself with me and my team in my early stages of my career, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, man. Thank you.